First of all, I would like to thank all of you, but mostly our speakers, Commissioner Damanaki and four exceptional Greek businessmen, which you all know, for coming here and being here. And I would like to thank them personally as well, deeply personally, Mr. Morphidis, Mr. Karadis, Mr. Domazakis, and Mr. Kores for being here. I would also like to thank the colleagues, including my colleague in the Liberals and Democrats, Wolf Klintz, who is coming right on time for the start of our event. Let me begin my very short introduction by saying that normally I would only have to start talking about the ability today to see a different Greece and to hear people that have, without question, succeeded in competitiveness, extrovert economic activity, and innovation. We have these people here that prove that in a very difficult and, let's say, extremely unfriendly economic environment, which we now have in Greece, we have thousands of excellent businesses and millions of very good people who give hope that Greece can have a different road from the one today. They not only prove that we have hope, but they prove that we have abilities that today the image of Greece in Europe does not convey, especially after 5 years of recession and extreme unemployment of 25%. I could stop at that and just say, give the floor to Commissioner and the rest. But you will allow me to add another point that I think is my main message from this, from today's event. In the last 3 years, from 2010 to 2012, since the program started to be implemented in Greece, we had our GDP shrinking from 222 in 2010 to 195 billion euros in 2012. So a shrinking of 27 billion euros within these 3 years. Now, during the same period, public consumption, government consumption, that is, shrunk by 8 billion. So from the 27 of the total shrinking, 8 came from public consumption. And 10 billion came from private investment. So what do we have? We have a shrinking of private investment that caused at least half of the recession that we have in Greece. Now, normally, in theory, the structural changes and European intervention should have made the country not less attractive for investment, but more attractive for investment. What we had, and the reason that we are here where we are, is that we had a loss of trust that devastated the Greek economy. A loss of trust that, in my mind, was neither necessary nor fruitful. because it has made almost impossible the effort of the Greek economy to revive. I repeat the numbers. Out of 27 billion of our shrinking of our GDP, we had 8 billion from shrinking of public consumption and 10 billion from shrinking of private investment. Now, during that period, Europe has paid 144 billion euros, not including ECB help, which is in the tens of billions additional help during that period. What was left from that money, because a lot went to cover debts and interest rates and to do the partial recapitalization of the Greek banks, what was left went to cover public consumption. And I would like to have, while you see these presentations, in your mind, to have this question: what would have happened if out of these 144 billion, let's say 5 billion have gone to the Greek private sector? A private sector that during that period was strangled by increased taxation, no liquidity in the market because all the money from the banks were taken for deficits, and a state that is not paying its own obligations to the private sector up to the extent of 9 billion today, in spite of the fact that the memorandum had as one of its prerequisites that no arrears will be there for the private sector. And to finish, I would just say my final message. If Europe wants Greece to succeed and to be able to pay back its debts, it has to think very seriously how it's going in the future to give more money, or some money, because up till now no money were given to the Greek private sector rather than the Greek state. Stop financing public consumption, start financing private investment. That's my message, and I will gladly give the floor and thank Commissioner Damanaki.
So I have a question. Can I speak Greek?
Ne.
Okay. Usually I speak English. This is the first time, actually, since I took office, I would like to speak in Greek, but I think it's important because I'm going to refer to the Greek situation and the Greek crisis. And I think that Greek language makes a sense here. So, αγαπητέ κύριε Σκυλακάκη, αγαπητοί κύριοι και κυρίες ευρωβουλευτές, αγαπητοί προσκεκλημένοι, φίλες και φίλοι, θα ήθελα καταρχήν να ευχαριστήσω τον κύριο Σκυλακάκη για την πρωτοβουλία αυτής της εκδήλωσης. Το πρώτο που μου άρεσε για αυτή την εκδήλωση όταν πήρα την πρόσκληση ήταν ο τίτλος Success Stories. Το αισθάνομαι σαν ανάγκη, αλλά νομίζω ότι όλοι το αντιλαμβάνεστε ότι η Ελλάδα έχει ανάγκη πραγματικά από ιστορίες επιτυχίας στην παρούσα συγκυρία. Έχουμε ανάγκη από success stories. Γιατί είναι περιττό να πω, το αντιλαμβανόμαστε όλοι και όλες, το ζούμε, ότι το μνημόνιο έχει γονατίσει την οικονομία, την πραγματική οικονομία, η εφαρμογή του έχει γονατίσει την πραγματική οικονομία και χρειάζεται μια φυγή προς τα μπρος. Είναι αυτό που όλοι λέμε ότι χρειάζεται να δημιουργήσουμε τις συνθήκες για την ανάκαμψη της οικονομίας και την τόνωση της απασχόλησης. Αυτό βέβαια είναι ευθύνη και των ευρωπαϊκών μηχανισμών και οργανισμών. Θα αναφερθώ με λίγα λόγια σε αυτό, γιατί νομίζω ότι είναι αναγκαίο. Αλλά είναι υποχρέωση και της ελληνικής κυβέρνησης, αλλά θα έλεγα και όλων των πολιτών που έχουν ένα δημόσιο λόγο, παίζουν κάποιο ρόλο ή μπορούν να δώσουν κάποια θετικά κοινωνικά αποτελέσματα, όπως είναι οι παρόντες επιχειρηματίες. Και θα συμφωνήσω με τον κύριο Σκυλακάκη, να ξεκινήσω από εκεί που τέλειωσε μάλλον, ότι για να πετύχουμε αυτή την περιβόητη τόνωση της ανάπτυξης και την απασχόληση χρειάζεται να βελτιώσουμε το επιχειρηματικό περιβάλλον. Χρειάζεται να σταματήσουμε τη δημόσια κατανάλωση όσο είναι δυνατόν και να δούμε πώς μπορούμε να τονώσουμε την επιχειρηματικότητα. Αυτό αισθάνομαι την ανάγκη να το τονίσω ευθύς εξ αρχής. Ως Έλληνας πολιτικός, γι' αυτό ήθελα να μιλήσω και ελληνικά, αισθάνομαι ότι και εγώ έχω ένα μέρος της ευθύνης της πολιτικής τάξης στην Ελλάδα που για δεκαετίες ολόκληρες καλλιέργησε την αντίληψη ότι η επιχειρηματικότητα είναι κάτι επιλήψιμο, σχεδόν επιλήψιμο και ότι η κοινωνία θα έπρεπε καταρχήν να διάγεται αρνητικά απέναντι σε αυτή την επιχειρηματικότητα. Χρειάζεται να προσδώσουμε στην επιχειρηματικότητα το θετικό πρόσημο που της αξίζει, βάζοντας βεβαίως τα όρια αυτού που συνήθως ονομάζουμε εδώ στην Ευρώπη και είναι ανάγκη να το ανακαλύψουμε και στην Ελλάδα, ηθικού επιχειρήν. Δηλαδή την ανάγκη να υπάρξει ένα ηθικό πλαίσιο μέσα στο οποίο αναπτύσσεται η επιχειρηματικότητα και μιλώντας για ηθικό πλαίσιο θέλω να αναφερθώ στη σχέση της επιχειρηματικότητας με την κοινωνία. Ποιος είναι ο ηθικός επιχειρηματίας? Θα μπορούσα να απαντήσω με δύο λόγια μόνο. Για μένα ηθικός επιχειρηματίας είναι αυτός που αντιλαμβάνεται ότι οι ευκαιρίες προσφέρονται από την κοινωνία. Ακουμπούν σε μία δική του ιδέα, ανανεωτική, καινούρια, αυθεντική, προσωπική, αλλά προσφέρονται από την κοινωνία. Η σχέση με την κοινωνία είναι που κάνει τον επιχειρηματία. Η ουσία της επιχείρησης είναι οι άλλοι. Αυτοί προς τους οποίους πουλούμε τα προϊόντα που δημιουργούν τις ευκαιρίες και δημιουργούν και τις δυνατότητες για κέρδος. Οι καταναλωτές, αλλά και οι εργαζόμενοι που υπάρχουν στην επιχείρηση και που δίνουν σε εμάς την υπεραξία από την οποία επωφελούμαστε. Είναι λοιπόν ανάγκη η Ελλάδα να ανακαλύψει με ένα θετικό πρόσημο αυτή την ηθική κοινωνική επιχειρηματικότητα και πιστεύω ότι η σημερινή εκδήλωση μπορεί να συμβάλλει θετικά σε αυτό. Θα ξεκινήσω, όπως αντιλαμβάνεστε, από το γνωστό θέμα που όλους μας απασχολεί, την ελληνική κρίση. Δεν σκοπεύω ούτε να αναλύσω, έχουμε γίνει όλοι σοφότεροι και σοφότερες αυτά τα 3 χρόνια. Για να έχουμε όμως μια βάση στη συζήτησή μας, θα ήθελα να ξεκινήσω λέγοντας ότι κατά τη γνώμη μου, για την κατάσταση της Ελλάδας τη σημερινή υπάρχουν ευθύνες και στην Ελλάδα αλλά και στην Ευρώπη. Δηλαδή, για να εξηγηθώ, πιστεύω ότι η ελληνική κρίση στην Ελλάδα θα υπήρχε έτσι κι αλλιώς, διότι έχει εγγενείς αιτίες, ακόμα και αν η Ευρώπη δεν είχε καμία κρίση και ήταν σε θαυμάσια κατάσταση συνολικά. Από την άλλη, πιστεύω ότι ακόμα και αν η Ελλάδα ήταν σε θαυμάσια κατάσταση, το ευρώ και η ζώνη του ευρώ θα είχε να αντιμετωπίσει σοβαρά προβλήματα. Νομίζω ότι είναι ανάγκη να καταλάβουμε τη διπλή φύση του προβλήματος για να αποφύγουμε τις γνωστές απολυτότητες που συνήθως μας κατατρέχουν στην Ελλάδα, στην πατρίδα μας και εμάς τους ίδιους, όπου αντιμετωπίζουμε την κρίση ως ένα φαινόμενο για το οποίο έχουν οι πάντες ευθύνη εκτός από μας και όπου οι θεωρίες συνωμοσίες και οι εύκολες αποδόσεις ευθυνών κερδίζουν αυτό που μπορεί να το αντιλαμβάνεται κανείς ως ένα λαϊκιστικό παραλήρημα, αλλά που εν τέλει βλάπτει τη χώρα. Είναι λοιπόν διφυής η κρίση. Και να ξεκινήσω από την Ευρώπη. Τι έφτεξε και τι μπορούμε να κάνουμε εμείς. Νομίζω ότι δεν πρόκειται να πω τίποτα καινούριο. Αν ξεκινήσω από το γεγονός ότι ο σχεδιασμός του ευρώ ήταν ένας ελλειπής σχεδιασμός, το ευρώ ήταν ένα ανάπηρο νόμισμα και αυτό είναι που πραγματικά το πληρώνει σήμερα ολόκληρη η Ευρωζώνη και η Ευρώπη συνολικά. Ήταν ένα νόμισμα το οποίο δεν στηριζόταν στις ανάγκες, τις λογικές ανάγκες ενός νομίσματος, τραπεζική στήριξη, τραπεζικό καταφύγιο σε τελευταία ανάλυση κλπ. Ποιο ήταν το αποτέλεσμα αυτής της αναπηρίας? Το αποτέλεσμα της αναπηρίας είναι ότι μετά την εφαρμογή του ευρώ, και αυτό η Κομισιόν το έχει αναγνωρίσει, ελπίζω ότι θα το αναγνωρίσουν και όλοι οι ευρωπαϊκοί θεσμοί, μετά την εφαρμογή του ευρώ, οι ανισότητες στον χώρο του ευρώ και της Ευρώπης διευρύνθηκαν. Αντί δηλαδή οι χώρες του ευρώ να έρθουν πιο κοντά η μια στην άλλη, η απόσταση μεγάλωσε. Όλα τα χάσματα μεγάλωσαν. Μεγάλωσαν τα χάσματα ανάμεσα στις χώρες τις πιο ανταγωνιστικές, τις λιγότερο ανταγωνιστικές, ανάμεσα στις χώρες τις πιο παραγωγικές, τις λιγότερο παραγωγικές, ανάμεσα στους πλούσιους και φτωχούς, με οποιαδήποτε έννοια και αν το δει κανείς αυτό, αλλά και μέσα στις χώρες μεγάλωσαν τα χάσματα ανάμεσα στους πλουσιότερους και τους φτωχότερους. Αυτό λοιπόν το πρόβλημα τώρα η Ευρώπη το αντιμετωπίζει. Και μια και μιλούμε για ιστορίες επιτυχίας, θέλω να σας πω ότι πιστεύω ότι οι τελευταίες ευρωπαϊκές αποφάσεις σηματοδοτούν την αρχή μιας επιτυχίας. Ποια μπορεί να είναι αυτή η επιτυχία? Νομίζω ότι μπορεί να είναι η πορεία προς ένα ενιαίο ευρωπαϊκό χώρο, πραγματικά ενιαίο, και ένα ουσιαστικό νόμισμα. Δεν ξέρω αν καθόλου πήρατε χαμπάρι, αλλά ως μέλος της Κομισιόν θέλω ιδιαίτερα να το τονίσω. Την περασμένη εβδομάδα η Κομισιόν αποφάσισε και έδωσε επιτέλους στη δημοσιότητα το κείμενο, το Blueprint. Τι είναι αυτό το Blueprint? Είναι η άποψη της Κομισιόν για το πώς μπορούμε να προχωρήσουμε στην ολοκλήρωση της Ευρωπαϊκής Ένωσης. Και είναι ένα κείμενο που θα ήθελα να το δείτε, αν δεν το έχετε δει. Έχει πάρα πολλές καλές ιδέες και κυρίως είναι ένα κείμενο δομημένο με τελικό στόχο μια Ευρωπαϊκή Ομοσπονδία. Είναι δομημένο με τελικό στόχο μια πραγματική ένωση της Ευρώπης. Και δεν ξέρω βέβαια αν αυτό το κείμενο, το οποίο καταλαβαίνετε ότι θα περάσει από 40 κύματα όπως συνήθως γίνεται εδώ, αν τελικά θα διασωθεί, αλλά ακόμα και αν διασωθεί η κεντρική ιδέα, έστω και αν καθυστερήσει, έστω και αν υπάρξουν όλα αυτά τα συνήθη που υπάρχουν μέσω των συμβιβασμών, νομίζω ότι έχει την αξία του. Το θετικό λοιπόν από την κρίση στην Ευρώπη είναι ότι η Τραπεζική Ένωση, η Νομισματική Ένωση, η Πολιτική Ένωση τελικά αποκτούν ουσιαστικό περιεχόμενο. Και αυτό είναι το δίδαγμα και το ιστορικό για την Ευρώπη. Η Ευρώπη πάντα όσα βήματα έκανε, τα έκανε μετά από κρίσεις. Δεν είναι σίγουρο ότι μετά από κάθε κρίση θα κάνουμε θετικά βήματα. Αλλά είναι σίγουρο ότι όσα θετικά βήματα έγιναν, ακολούθησαν κρίσεις. Άρα λοιπόν ας δούμε αυτή την κρίση ως μια ευκαιρία έτσι ώστε η Ευρώπη να κάνει ό,τι της αναλογεί. Διότι πιστεύω ότι αν το ευρώ ήταν πραγματικά ένα κοινό νόμισμα, αν υπήρχε κοινή νομισματική πολιτική, αν υπήρχε μια κοινοτικοποίηση των χρεών των κρατών μελών, αν υπήρχε μια πραγματική αλληλεγγύη με βάση το κοινό νόμισμα, η ελληνική κρίση θα ήταν εδώ, διότι όπως θα σας δείξω ήταν εγγενής, αλλά η αντιμετώπιση της θα ήταν πραγματικά πιο εύκολη. Και θα ήταν επίσης πιο εύκολη η αντιμετώπιση της κρίσης όλων των χωρών του Νότου, της Ισπανίας, της Πορτογαλίας, που τα κεφάλαια τα επεισόδια αυτών των κρίσεων νομίζω τα παρακολουθείτε κάθε μέρα. Αυτά για την Ευρώπη. Ας έρθω τώρα λίγο στην Ελλάδα. Η μαύρη τρύπα στην Ελλάδα, όταν εμφανίστηκε η κρίση, αγαπητοί φίλοι και φίλες, ήταν πάρα πολύ μεγάλη. Ήταν πολύ μεγαλύτερη από όσο ομολόγησαν οι ελληνικές κυβερνήσεις διαχρονικά, όλες. Και αυτό το μέγεθος και οι δυσκολίες που υπάρχουν είναι που βρίσκεται στη ρίζα πολλών από τα προβλήματα που έχουμε. Γιατί αν ευθύς εξ αρχής η πολιτική τάξη στην Ελλάδα είχε αντιληφθεί τη σοβαρότητα της κατάστασης και προχωρούσε σε μέτρα που να αντιστοιχούν με τη σοβαρότητα της κατάστασης, ίσως να είχαμε μια καλύτερη τύχη. Η μαύρη τρύπα στην Ελλάδα ήταν πολύ μεγάλη. Και γιατί υπήρχε αυτή, δεν θέλω να πω πολλά, νομίζω αντιλαμβανόμαστε όλοι. Ότι πέρα από την κοινωνική αδικία, πέρα από τις ανάγκες των φτωχότερων που δυστυχώς χειροτερεύουν, και η Ελλάδα πια με 30% είναι η τέταρτη φτωχότερη χώρα στην Ευρωπαϊκή Ένωση, πέρα από όλα αυτά υπήρχε ένα εγγενές πρόβλημα. Η Ελλάδα ξόδευε περισσότερα από όσα παρήγαγε, επί δεκαετίες. Κατά συνέπεια, ό,τι και να κάναμε, όσο καλά να ήταν το ευρώ στη θέση του, όσα μέτρα αλληλεγγύης και να παίρναμε, η κρίση θα ήταν εκεί. Και αυτή την ελληνική ευθύνη, το ελληνικό μερίδιο ευθύνη σε αυτή την κρίση είναι ανάγκη να το αντιληφθούμε. Να σας δώσω ένα απλό παράδειγμα. Ας πάρουμε τη δεκαετία από το 2000 μέχρι το 2008, που ήταν η χρυσή δεκαετία της ελληνικής οικονομίας. Στη διάρκεια αυτών των χρόνων, η ιδιωτική και η δημόσια κατανάλωση της Ελλάδας έφτασε το 97% του ΑΕΠ. Δηλαδή, ό,τι παρηγάγαμε, Ελπίζω... Όχι. Εμείς παρηγάγαμε. Ό,τι παρηγάγαμε δεν ξέρω είναι κανείς φιλόλογος εδώ, έχει το ελεύθερο να διορθώσει. Ό,τι παρήγαμε, ευχαριστώ πολύ για τη διόρθωση. Ό,τι παρήγαμε λοιπόν στο διάστημα αυτό, το καταναλώναμε αυτομάτως. Αυτομάτως. Και πάρτε υπόψη σας ότι το 2000 η Ελλάδα είχε ήδη ένα χρέος μεγάλο που έπρεπε να εξυπηρετήσει και το οποίο συνεχώς διωγγωνόταν. Αυτό ήταν το δράμα μας. Την ίδια στιγμή, όταν εμείς λοιπόν καταναλώναμε το 97% του εισοδήματός μας, ας ρίξουμε μια ματιά στις άλλες χώρες. Η Αυστρία, η Γερμανία, το Βέλγιο και η Ολλανδία κατανάλωναν μόνο το 70%. Το 70% του δικού τους ακαθάριστου προϊόντος. Εμείς το 100%, αυτοί το 70%. Αυτή είναι η βάση του προβλήματος. Και αυτή είναι η βάση και των αντιθέσεων που διαμορφώνονται σήμερα μέσα στην Ευρώπη, όταν εμείς ζητούμε την αλληλεγγύη αυτών των χωρών και αυτών των πολιτών αυτών των χωρών, οι οποίοι βεβαίως αυτά τα στοιχεία τα γνωρίζουν, δεν τα γνωρίζουμε μόνο εμείς. Φτάσαμε λοιπόν εδώ που φτάσαμε και πρέπει ταχύτατα να αλλάξουμε την κατάσταση. Και υπάρχει το περίφημο μνημόνιο, το οποίο έχει δημιουργήσει τεράστια προβλήματα, ιδιαίτερα στα φτωχότερα ελληνικά στρώματα, αλλά συγχρόνως έχει δώσει και ορισμένα θετικά αποτελέσματα. Δηλαδή τα πράγματα στην Ελλάδα βελτιώνονται. Και όχι επειδή θέλω να δώσω ένα θετικό μήνυμα, αλλά επειδή έχουμε τα συγκεκριμένα στοιχεία της Eurostat, τα οποία μας έρχονται στην Κομισιόν και τα οποία δεν χαρίζονται σε κανένα. Είμαι λοιπόν υποχρεωμένη να πω ένα-δυο στοιχεία, γιατί ίσως και εμείς οι ίδιοι δεν τα έχουμε συνειδητοποιήσει. Το έλλειμμα, το ελληνικό, έχει μειωθεί κατά 6 μονάδες από το Μάιο του 2010. Τέτοια μείωση δεν έχει ξαναγίνει από καμία χώρα τα τελευταία 30 χρόνια. Λοιπόν, είναι ένα επιχείρημα αυτό. Έχουμε μείωση, αυτή είναι ένα success story, μιλώντας και για τα δημόσια οικονομικά, πριν πάμε στην επιχειρηματικότητα. Έχουμε λόγω ελλειπούς κατανάλωσης, διότι πράγματι υπάρχει στην Ελλάδα πια μεγάλη φτώχεια. Έχουμε ένα πληθωρισμό της τάξης του 0,3%, ξεκινήσαμε από 4,7% και πια έχουμε φτάσει στο 0,3%, όταν ο μέσος όρος στην Ευρωπαϊκή Ένωση είναι 2,6%. Αυτά είναι επιχειρήματα που και εγώ χρησιμοποιώ απέναντι στις άλλες χώρες από τις οποίες ζητάμε. Και εν πάση περιπτώσει η Ελλάδα, κούτσα-κούτσα, έχει προχωρήσει σύμφωνα με την ετήσια έκθεση Doing Business από την Παγκόσμια Τράπεζα, που βαθμολογεί 185 χώρες σε 10 τομείς, όπως είναι η έναρξη μιας επιχείρησης, η ηλεκτροδότηση, η εφαρμογή των συμβάσεων, ο χρόνος για οικοδομική άδεια, όλα δηλαδή αυτά που εδώ δημιουργούν στο τραπέζι στους άλλους συναδέλφους που κάθονται εδώ, δημιουργούν πανικό. Λοιπόν, η Παγκόσμια Τράπεζα που τα βαθμολόγησε όλα αυτά λέει ότι μέσα στον τελευταίο χρόνο η Ελλάδα ανέβηκε 22 θέσεις. 22 θέσεις προς την κορυφή. Είμαστε στην 100η θέση και είμαστε στην 78η σε ένα χρόνο. Άρα αυτές οι κυβερνήσεις που παίρνουν αυτά τα σκληρά μέτρα κάνουν και κάτι. Έχουν και κάποιο αποτέλεσμα. Αν θέλουμε λοιπόν να είμαστε δίκαιοι, πρέπει να τα δούμε όλα αυτά. Οκ. Μου είχαν πει για 20 λεπτά. Αλλά μπορώ να συντομέψω. Άρα λοιπόν υπάρχει θέμα βελτίωσης της ελληνικής ανταγωνιστικότητας με την αύξηση των εξαγωγών, με το ισοζύγιο των τρέχουσων συναλλαγών, τη βελτίωσή του. 11,7% του ΑΕΠ ήταν το 2011 και έχει φτάσει στο 5%. Άρα υπάρχει βελτίωση. Το λέω αυτό γιατί χρειάζεται να έχουμε επιχειρήματα απέναντι σε όλους όσους μας παρακολουθούν και οι οποίοι καμώνονται τάχα τους αδιάφορους απέναντι σε όσα γίνονται στην Ελλάδα. Φυσικά, το τι πρέπει να κάνουμε δεν χρειάζεται να το πω. Νομίζω το καταλαβαίνουμε. Οι διαρθρωτικές μεταρρυθμίσεις δεν έχουν προχωρήσει. Η δημόσια διοίκηση είναι ο μεγάλος ασθενής και επιτέλους πρέπει να πάψουμε να χαϊδεύουμε τα αυτιά. Να πάψουμε να χαϊδεύουμε τα αυτιά. Η δημόσια διοίκηση στην Ελλάδα δεν μπορεί να συνεχίσει να ζει για τον εαυτό της. Πρέπει να υπηρετήσει τον πολίτη. Ό,τι και να σημαίνει αυτό. Ό,τι και να σημαίνει αυτό. Και πρέπει να αποφασίσουμε ότι η δημόσια κατανάλωση μπορεί και πρέπει να μειωθεί. Και να μην πω για τη φορολογική μεταρρύθμιση, που ελπίζω κάποια στιγμή να προχωρήσει στην Ελλάδα, για να μην πω για την καταπολέμηση της μαύρης οικονομίας. Θεωρώ πάντως ότι το κεντρικό θέμα, και αυτή είναι και η γνώμη και των συναδέλφων μου στην Κομισιόν όσο συζητούμε, το κεντρικό θέμα για την Ελλάδα αυτή τη στιγμή είναι η δημόσια διοίκηση, οι αποκρατικοποίησεις, η ενίσχυση του ιδιωτικού τομέα, έτσι ώστε να δημιουργηθεί ένα θετικό επενδυτικό κλίμα. Και αυτό προσπαθούμε να κάνουμε. Για να κάνουμε βέβαια καλά τη δουλειά μας, πρέπει και εμείς σαν Κομισιόν και εσείς οι ευρωβουλευτές που βλέπω εδώ σαν Ευρωπαϊκό Κοινοβούλιο και όλοι μας, να φροντίσουμε ώστε η Ευρώπη να είναι εντάξει στις υποχρεώσεις της. Η Ευρώπη πέρυσι υποσχέθηκε στην Ελλάδα πόρους από τα διαρθρωτικά ταμεία ή πόρους για τις μικρομεσαίες επιχειρήσεις που δεν έχουν εκταμιευθεί. Δεν έχουν εκταμιευθεί γιατί η Ευρωπαϊκή Τράπεζα Επενδύσεων δεν ήταν εντάξει στις υποχρεώσεις που είχε αναλάβει. Δεν φταίει δηλαδή μόνο η ελληνική κυβέρνηση και μόνο η ελληνική πλευρά. Φταίμε κι εμείς. Η Ευρώπη, οι ευρωπαϊκοί οργανισμοί. Και όπου φταίμε είναι ανάγκη να το πούμε. Είναι ανάγκη να το πούμε, διότι οι πολίτες οι Έλληνες έχουν ανάγκη από καθαρές εξηγήσεις εδώ που έχουμε φτάσει. Με δύο λόγια, για να πάω προς το κλείσιμο. Πιστεύω ότι έχουμε δυνατότητες. Έχουμε δυνατότητες γιατί η χώρα βρίσκεται σε μια καλή πορεία και συγχρόνως έχει συγκριτικά πλεονεκτήματα. Ποια είναι τα συγκριτικά πλεονεκτήματα? Δεν είναι μόνο ο ήλιος, η θάλασσα, το καλό κλίμα, είναι και αυτά βέβαια. Αλλά έχουμε μια σειρά τομείς όπου μπορούμε πραγματικά να κάνουμε θαύματα. Και νομίζω ότι ένα πολύ χαρακτηριστικό παράδειγμα είναι η έκθεση της McKinsey που υποδεικνύει 10 τομείς, μπορεί να υπάρχουν κι άλλοι, όπου μπορούμε πραγματικά να είμαστε μπροστά. Και οι τομείς αυτοί βρίσκονται εδώ και σήμερα που κουβεντιάζουμε. Η δυνατότητα, παραδείγματος χάρη, για εκλεκτά τρόφιμα. Έχουμε την Κρέτα Φάρμ εδώ. Οι δυνατότητες για φαρμακευτικά προϊόντα. Ο κύριος Κορές είναι εδώ. Οι δυνατότητες για ηχθειοκαλλιέργειες. Δεν βλέπω κανέναν, αλλά ελπίζω να δω στο μέλλον. Οι δυνατότητες για τη διαχείριση των αποβλήτων. Βλέπω τον κύριο Καράτζη εδώ. Αλλά υπάρχει και η δυνατότητα να υπάρχουν επιχειρήσεις μόνο και μόνο επειδή μπορούμε να επενδύσουμε και μπορούμε να τις βοηθήσουμε εδώ σε μια εξαιρετική ιδέα που θα συνδυαστεί με προϊόντα που πραγματικά δίνουν αυτό που λέμε στην Ευρώπη innovation. Και νομίζω ότι η COCOMAT είναι μια τέτοια επιχείρηση που συναγωνίστηκε σε ένα χώρο που δεν υπήρχε κάτι ιδιαίτερο στην Ελλάδα. Αλλά ακριβώς επειδή είχε μια εξαιρετικά innovative ιδέα, επειδή είχε μια ιδέα που συνδυαζόταν με οικολογικές ευαισθησίες και ισορροπία άλλου τύπου σε σχέση με τη φύση, μπόρεσε να προχωρήσει. Νομίζω λοιπόν ότι έχουμε τους επιχειρηματίες που είναι παραδείγματα αυτού του μέλλοντος και νομίζω ότι είναι ανάγκη να προχωρήσουμε σε αυτή την κατεύθυνση. Με δύο λόγια, για να τελειώνω, νομίζω ότι η Ελλάδα έχει κάνει κάποια βήματα, έχει πολλά να κάνει ακόμα. Έχει ανάγκη τη στήριξη με έργα και όχι λόγια από την ευρωπαϊκή πλευρά, αλλά έχει ανάγκη επίσης να συγκεντρωθεί και να λειτουργήσει αποδοτικά. Όσο συνεχίζουμε μέσα σε ένα κλίμα γκρίνιας, αλληλοκατηγοριών, μιζέριας και με με τη διατήρηση ενός καθεστώτος ιερής προστασίας για το δημόσιο τομέα στην Ελλάδα, δεν μπορούμε να πάμε μπροστά. Δεν μπορούμε να πάμε μπροστά. Είναι ανάγκη να το δούμε και να το δούμε όλοι πέρα από τις πολιτικές και τις κομματικές ιδιαιτερότητες. Με δύο λόγια, επιλέγω να είμαι αισιόδοξη σε αυτή τη φάση. Λέω επιλέγω γιατί τίποτα δεν είναι σίγουρο, αλλά και η αισιοδοξία είναι μια επιλογή, μια πολιτική επιλογή και μια επιχειρηματική επιλογή και μια οικονομική επιλογή και μια πολιτισμική επιλογή. Είναι εν τέλει επιλογή. Χρειάζεται να πιστέψουμε στον τόπο μας αν θέλουμε να πάει μπροστά. Σας ευχαριστώ πολύ.
Ευχαριστώ πολύ την Επίτροπο και θα μου επιτρέψετε να πω ότι σε πάρα πολλά συμφωνούμε, αν και έχουμε τελείως διαφορετικές πολιτικές καταγωγές στη σημερινή φάση. Θα προσέθετα σε 30 δευτερόλεπτα ότι χρειαζόμαστε ασφαλώς ισχυρότερους ευρωπαϊκούς θεσμούς και ομοσπονδία, αλλά ομοσπονδία με 1% του ΑΕΠ και με τον τρόπο που χρησιμοποιούμε τα ευρωπαϊκά κονδύλια δεν γίνεται. Και θα επαναλάμβανα σε σχέση με την με τις ευθύνες ότι κατά τη γνώμη μου η βασική ευθύνη της Ευρώπης είναι ότι χρηματοδότησε μία unsustainable, μία μη διατηρήσιμη δημόσια κατανάλωση από το 10 και μετά, κάτι το οποίο μας κόστισε τις ιδιωτικές επενδύσεις στην Ελλάδα. Κατά τη γνώμη μου, αν είχαμε πάει πολύ ταχύτερα, θα είχαμε πολύ καλύτερα αποτελέσματα. Δεν θα είχαμε αυτή την τραυματική μείωση κατά 10 δις των ιδιωτικών επενδύσεων που, επαναλαμβάνω, είχε ως συνέπεια τη μισή ύφεση από αυτήν που βιώσαμε. Δίνω τώρα κατευθείαν το λόγο στους επιχειρηματίες με τη σειρά πια του προγράμματος, μια που έχουμε μετάφραση. Ο κύριος Καράτζης ξεκινά και δεν θα κάνω εγώ παρουσίαση των επιχειρήσεων, γιατί ακριβώς οι ίδιοι θα την κάνουν πολύ καλύτερα από μένα.
Ladies and gentlemen, members of the European Parliament, Madam Commissioner, I would like to thank you for attending today's event and congratulate Mr. Skylakakis for the exceptional initiative and Commissioner Damanakis for the remarkable speech. Your interest on the Greek business provides us with the opportunity to highlight an aspect of the Greek reality that is rarely in the forefront. It gives us the opportunity to bring forward the productive side of a hard-working Greece, a Greece devoted to research and innovation, an extrovert corporate Greece that actively competes in the international markets and succeeds. Presenting Karatsi's operations right in the heart of European Union has an exceptionally symbolic character for me, since our group constitutes a truly European business organization. We are headquartered in the southmost border of Europe with know-how from the heart of Europe and sales all over the world. Karatsi's group is a global leader in the manufacture of netting materials created not only thanks to 4 decades of hard work, but also thanks to the opportunities provided by the European Union to its members. The first steps of the establishment of the group took place in Central Europe when my father Miltiadis moved from Elidohori in Crete to Vienna to study. Working in a well-structured country, he was able to evolve professionally, climbing the corporate ladder all the way up to the level of the general management. 4 decades after the operation of the first production unit, Karatsi's group is today a global leader in the manufacturing of netting materials, having at the same time invested substantially in energy and tourism. Throughout the challenging business course, the key driver of our growth has been the business incentive of my father Miltiadis and the significant supporting role of my mother, Nana. We worked hard, we remained focused and thoroughly implemented our operational planning. We invested in quality and innovation and became one of the most significant global suppliers in our field, with an annual turnover that exceeds 60 million euro and 96% export. We grew and expanded responsibly, and we are very proud that our family comprises today of more than 600 employees. Responding to market challenges as they appeared, we focused on our production base and created a series of state-of-the-art production facilities in Greece and Germany. Production facilities that we further developed and expanded on the basis of the advanced know-how, reaching a total production capacity that exceeds 20,000 tons annually. We produce a dynamic portfolio that includes netting and packaging solution that ranges from bale net wrap, pallet net wrap, Christmas tree netting, construction nets, and meat processing netting. We never rested all these years. We upgraded our products, advanced our techniques, and invested in know-how and training. We listened to our customers carefully and decided time and resources to improve the quality of our products and services. And our work paid off. Karadzi's group is the #1 producer globally of Russell bags on roll for the automatic packaging of fresh products. the second largest supplier globally in bale network products, number one supplier producer globally for elastic meat netting for meat and poultry, first in Europe in manufacturing of shade net products for microclimate control in garden greenhouses and nurseries, first in Christmas tree netting manufacturing. We are proud of our leading position in international markets, and believe me, this market share did not come easily without effort. Our conquests were based on products distinguished for their quality, innovative products with attributes that provide our customers and the final consumers with significant added value. Karatis was the first company globally to develop shade netting products for climate control and additionally improve light and airflow in gardens and greenhouses. Furthermore, Karatis is the first company to produce retroreflective safety nets that are visible in the dark. Throughout the past 4 decades of growth for the Karatis Group, our steps have been very careful. We calculated every move we made. We averted risk but did not hesitate to enter new sectors whenever we saw growth potential. We entered tourism in the 80s and proved successful. As we speak, a small investment in hotel facilities have grown to a 5-star all-inclusive resort with 500 rooms and 200,000 room nights annually. We entered 2 years ago the renewable energy sector through a series of solar parks, and today we are proud to contribute to the energy reserves of our country with a total capacity of 14 megawatts. The growth rates achieved by Karatis Group throughout its business course are remarkable. With a consolidated turnover of 62.7 million euros in 2011, operating profits EBITDA of 12.3 million euros and net earnings of 5.6 million euros, Karatis Group remains a financially fit company, working hard to address the challenges of the current adverse economic environment. On the basis of these positive results, we remain focused on the materialization of the development plan. The key strategic pillars for 2012-13 places emphasis on production efficiency improvements, continued focus on research, entrance in new markets, and even stricter financial management. Ladies and gentlemen, in the beginning of our presentation, I mentioned the exceptional opportunities within Europe, which is the first place provided our group with a chance to evolve and grow. 4 decades ago, my family invested more than 2 million Deutschmark trying to create an industry in Crete, and we succeeded. Would we do that today? The honest reply is no. Why? Because the opportunities are not the same anymore. Because Europe is not the same anymore. Despite the unification efforts that are taking place, Europe is more inaccessible to some of us than ever before, and some of its key productive forces and corporations are up against obstacles, highly contradictory to the initial concept of a true European Union. We are a multinational group headquartered in the southernmost border of European Union, an organization with valuable know-how gained in the heart of industrial Europe, with production facilities and subsidiaries in Greece, Germany, and Spain, addressing the needs of thousands of customers and consumers all over the world. At the same time, we are an organization striving for growth on unequal terms versus our peers, operating with significant constraints and restrictions to make our work really difficult. Constraints unrelated to the nature and quality of our activity, but directly connected to the country we come from. We have no other option but to operate at interest rates 4 to 5 times higher than those of our competitors in the rest of Europe. We have to strive for growth within a sophisticated environment as regards our overall financing, despite the fact that our export accounts for 96% of our turnover. We are forced to pay our suppliers in much stricter terms. We have seen no incentive from the European Union to protect the interests of European companies from Far Eastern competition by implementing higher import duties. In many cases, products arrive from the Far East lower than what we buy raw materials in Greece or in Europe. And this is happening in a time when Europe is seeking development initiatives in the Greek economy, in a time when everybody is looking for the first sign of recovery as regards the productive backbone of our country. It is clear from today's presentation that healthy productive forces do exist in Greece. Forces that do not rely on favors and third-party assistance. Productive forces that are, one, asking to be equally treated as a true European companies. Thank you very much.
I would like to thank Mr. Karadis for an excellent, really excellent presentation. And I would like to repeat, 4 times the financial cost related to other parts of Europe, which, well,
in the discussion.
we'll discuss it later, but that's not exactly like being in a monetary union. But let's give the floor to Mr. Evmofidis now.
Thank you.
There are 9 people in the audience who are not Greek, and there are 2 up here, so 11. So I'll try my best to make them good ambassadors. The rest is Greek, no? Today I tried to come up here by walking. It was a little bit complicated. You use the elevator, no? Who came walking up here? Nobody? Only me. And this little guy there, this young fellow, okay. This is Europe, okay? Even worse is Greece. We're talking about million, billion, money, euro, dollar. But who is going to talk about happiness? We make a lot of money in order to put it on an account and then use it to be happy. I don't want your money to be happy. I'm happy myself. Do you think that if Europe send us money now, we'll be happier? I don't need any shoes with these little holes there to make me looking very sophisticated. Neither I need a big car to go to my work. I use my bike. So if we stand in Europe, we stand for our identity. We're different. We're Spartans. This is what I believe. Greeks should remain Spartans and not Athenian and then pseudo-Europeans. Come on, this is what I believe. Sorry. You invited me here, so I talk what I have to. I say what I think. I don't think what I say. Okay? I told you that, no? Okay. So I was 23 and I arrived in London. In Greek? But what about the other people, man?
They have translators.
9 people and 2 up here. I honor them. Hospitality. Have you been to Greece?
Oh, yeah, sure.
You have. You like our country? Have you? Out of the 11 people here, because you are 11, I counted you. How many have you been to Greece? This. That's good. That's good. And we are different. We cannot be like you, no? You don't have to wear a tie in order to be somebody, no? I work this. This is a cook in a little restaurant in Greece, and he told me, Paul, you do that for me. You put it on, man, when you talk. And he is a friend of my son. And he works as a cook. And he's a happy guy. So why do I have to change him? Why do I have to change myself? Because I made some money. What am I going to do with my money again? Anyway, I was 23. I went up to London, and when I arrived there, I didn't know how to say anything. And there was a policeman, a big guy. And I asked him, I wanted to say, where am I? And I said, who am I? And then he said, your passport. Then still I'm running. When I see a policeman, you know, I'm still running. Normally, when we touch the unknown, if we know a beautiful girl like you and I see you, and I don't talk to you, but I like to talk to you. When I come closer and I talk to you, I see that you're a nice girl. So you're talkative. When you touch the unknown, it reveals to you. It is naked. This is what Europe needs. This gentleman from Germany, he is completely friendly with Greece, but he doesn't know how we think and how we do things. All this stuff is sort of unknown to him. What I believe Europe should be doing is only facilitating communication. Because I went to London in order to learn English. And if COCOMAT is successful, because we are laughing and not creating money, we create culture, I always speak with my drivers, with my people, about girls, about football. I never spoken about money to anybody. And they are happy. Years, working years and years, and we are good friends. Do you think that if you get double, you'll be happier? No. But if you play football, while you're working, then you're happier. You go to your work with the same happiness that you go back home. So COCOMAT then is based on laughing or having fun. And yesterday, Mr. Skylakakis said to me, listen, I need from you all to say one word, what is your company? And I said, laugh. And he said, don't use this word, it's mine. And then I used another word, havales. Can you translate that? No, havales? No. So what is a company? A company at the end is a family. Having fun. It's something even being, very at ease and enjoying everything. And what is a company? The prolongation of your family. No? What would you do in your family? You make money, you go at home, and then you start laughing with your father, your brothers, sisters, everybody's laughing. If you don't do that in your company, and if you're waiting for people to send you money to make you happy, woe betide you. You will never be happy. No? Anyway, I went to London and I learned English and I'm here proudly talking to you in English. And then I went to different countries. Portugal, I used to sleep in very expensive hotels, but not up in the rooms, down where the heating place is. No? And I enjoyed that because I had passion. I had passion to learn different cultures. And I did that. And COCOMAT can export because I know you. The 11 people, I know you so well. I've been in Germany and I know what the messe is, where I used to go and eat for €2. So I'm not afraid of you. I'm very happy that you are here. My father used to work for you 25 years. Long. Gastarbeiter, no? You know? And then he made some money and then he bought a car. The car was German, you know? And you're very proud to say, we export so much, also to Greece. So we used a lot of cars, we used all the products that come from the northern countries, and now we have debts. So what about you appreciating our tomatoes? Because we produce very good tomatoes, very good food. We have the sun, you have different stuff. So if we can communicate with one another, we will be in peace. Nowadays we are fighting. We are fighting not about money. We are fighting about cultures, because you don't trust me. You trust me? 100% a Greek, a small Greek, dark looking? No. And then, because I know that, when we started COCOMAT with zero, I said, I don't have money to buy machinery. But sun, sea, and salad, these S's, told me, just use the seaweed instead of getting all this polyester and acrylic, paying for that. Because if I had paid for Greek, for German machinery, and then if I had imported acrylic, polyester, and all this stuff, I would not be able to export that again. No, because they have it there. Debts in the bank and all this stuff, and then I would be dead. So I said, what do they need up there? 10 minutes, you tell me, I stop. Finish? 1 minute.
You have 2 minutes, but please tell your turnover before you.
Put it in the mattress.
Το τελευταίο πέρα το ελληνικά και αγνάψαμε.
Να πούμε στα ελληνικά.
Πέρα το ποντιακά.
Είσαι και αυτό. It doesn't matter how much money you make in life. Happiness should be every day. I say to people, have you laughed today? To my people, and they say, yes, man. We start laughing, making jokes, running, having fun. It doesn't matter about how much money you make. At the end, you are not happy with the money. We have the biggest ever businessman in the world, who is Mr. Onassis, no? Are his kids happy? So we must learn history and enjoy life in a different way. Thank you.
Okay.
My only observation before I give the floor to Mr. Domasakis is that if people believe that they know how Greeks are going to succeed and get out of this mess, they are wrong. We're going to get out of this mess in our own way, which is not very predictable.
We're unpredictable.
Thank you. Domasakis, please.
What I should say is main characteristic of Greek businessmen is a Greek word, pluralismos. Is a Greek word, pluralismos. So, dear, I am very happy to have been invited here today and having the opportunity to present the success story of Krita Farms. Krita Farms having innovation as a key principle and as key part of its DNA has grown considerably through the years. It all started in the island of Crete, and nowadays, through our innovative products, we are in 10 countries, thus contributing to a healthier way of living. At Krita Farms, we have managed to effectively complete the cycle of sustainable development. We operate in harmony with environment, starting from farming, and all our products are safely returned to the earth. I hope you will enjoy our video. We have prepared a video. Την προηγούμενη. Thank you. As you have seen from the short video, Krita Farms is the first food company in the world that since 2001 managed successfully to incorporate olive oil into lean meat or skim milk and therefore to produce really tasteful low-fat products. We drew our inspiration from Crete, where the first large-scale production and exportation of olive oil in Europe started 5,000 years ago. And for this reason, Crete is considered by archaeologists as the homeland of extra virgin olive oil. In Crete, we consume 34 liters of olive oil per capita annually, while in Italy, this amount is around 10.5% liter. Our nutrition is mainly based on olive oil, and this is why it is considered one of the healthiest diets, which is something that has been proven also by the 7-country study. Our vision is to introduce a new way of living, improving nutrition through innovative products that contain olive oil, we are achieving a low-fat product with a rich taste. Let us see which factors the European consumer try to avoid when buying food products. Preservatives, artificial colors and flavors, salt, and animal fat. As you can see from the green column, this is the biggest concern, the animal fat. At the same time, the world's biggest health institution also agree that the animal fat, due to the high amount of saturated fat, is the most harmful factor for the human health nowadays. Therefore, they suggest its replacement with unsaturated fat like olive oil. Our innovation answers to both consumer concerns and to the recommendation of medical organizations in a simple but unique way. The two biggest sources in which we find high amounts of animal fat are meat and milk. Our innovation is a successful combination of low-fat milk or meat with extra virgin olive oil. It's so simple. In this way, we can offer products with less and better quality of fat, which at the same time are healthier and tastier. The applications are not just products, as our innovation covers the biggest category in people's nutrition, creating a healthier choice when it comes to everyday eating pleasures we'll all enjoy, like sandwiches, hot dogs, pizza. Thus, we introduce a new way of living. We have patented our innovation in many countries throughout the world, safeguarding the uniqueness of our products. This is a process that demands significant resources from our side in order to ensure the most appropriate management of our patent portfolio. Almost 5% of our turnover is invested yearly in innovation, including R&D and patent portfolio. Our unique products have been globally recognized by receiving various endorsements and awards throughout the years for our innovative healthier profile and taste achievement. In USA, we have achieved the American Heart Association endorsement in two categories, hot dog and bologna. We are actually the first and the only to have achieved the certification of the American Heart Association in these categories. Additionally, Spain, our products carry the Spanish Heart Foundation stamp for dropping the animal fat dramatically. We are proud that recently, even before launching in UK, we have been granted the award for the best sausages for taste and innovation by PBEX among 200 other sausages. Crete Farms' concept has been positively accepted by many countries. Having conducted various surveys, we found out that there is a high intention to buy among different countries with different cultures within Europe and outside of it, such as Japan, China, and Russia. Because of these great results, we have initiated our international expansion, and we are currently present in 10 countries, having used 3 alternative expanding models. For example, in USA, we operate through our subsidiary company. In Spain, we have a joint venture with Argal, a key player in the market. In Sweden and UK, we are partners with HK Scan, the leader in this market. Also in Italy, we are partners with Grandi Salumificio Italiani, which is the #1 player. Finally, in Australia and Cyprus, we operate through exports. Throughout the years, Crete Farm achieved noticeable growth by developing nationally and expanding in a global level. Since the crisis began, our business potential has been paused due to cash flow restraints, a tight working capital holding back our course of development. As you are aware, financial crisis hit Greece, resulting in a great recession. The unemployment rate increased over 25% and led to loss of buying power and shrinkage of the market. At the same time, lack of funding has led to limited cash flow. On the other hand, the country risk has blocked foreign investment as well as funding from the banks or the stock market. On top of this, our international suppliers are reluctant to work on a credit basis, with the Greek companies demanding payment in cash. This whole situation creates a continuous vicious cycle which leads the country and the Greek companies, even the successful one, into a very difficult position. We need to figure out a way to exit these vicious cycles. Extrovert companies like Krita Farms, which contribute to our country's productivity and income, are now on a hold mode. Although Krita Farms is a very promising and well-respected company, still has to face the harsh consequences of the financial crisis. To realize our growth prospects and continue development, we need a vote of trust from the international community. It is essential to have country believers who will continue to support our country and help us return to growth. Your vote of confidence is of great significance for our future success, so we are expecting you to be an active part of our growth story. Thank you for your time.
I would just add that having healthy products that I think 20% or 25% of the Greeks eat, so that proves that they are also tasty. And Mr. Kores, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I would like to see also the PowerPoint. I'm a pharmacist.
Χρειαζόμαστε.
I hope that the ladies of the forum know the brand. We have started in Greece almost 16 years ago, out of the oldest Greek homeopathic pharmacy. I started working there in 1988, doing products from herbs, homeopathic products, natural herbal preparations for problems and cosmetics. The product was so successful in our pharmacy that people all over Athens came to the pharmacy. It was word of mouth. Go to Yorgos Pharmacy in Pankrati to buy good creams of herbs. That was the homeopathic laboratory that was in a perfect quality, and the doctors of homeopathy sent the patients in the pharmacy. Because of the success of the products we were doing in the pharmacy, friends of mine who were also pharmacists asked for the products. So in 1996, we started the company without a business plan, just doing things we love, things we're proud of, and we were proud to offer them to our friends. We start with 4 or 5 clients. Very quickly they became 50, 100, and year after year the company raised quickly. The first product and the still best-selling product is a cough syrup based on racomelo, which is a concoction in Greece based on raki and honey, in hot, sweet, and alcoholic. Very successful. That was the first product in cosmetics based on wild rose. And our export trip started by luck. A friend of us has seen the products in Creta, has sent to an American lawyer in New York as a present. He said, I love it, I would like to import it. For me, that was my marriage trip in US. We started exporting in US. A buyer from Harvey Nichols, a very expensive store in London. She has seen the stores in Hen Bendel in New York. She asked for the products, so we start exporting in Europe, from Athens, Creta, New York, London. For us, that was a huge success. We go to Selfridges, to Harrods, to big departments in UK. Buyers from other countries have seen the products there, from France, they buy from Bon Marché, from Germany. So it was a domino, one country after the other. At the same time, we launched a big range of cosmetics without parabens, without silicones, without mineral oils, very unique at that time. There were only a few German companies that were doing products in this field in a very high level. Day after day, things were moving. The company was growing bigger and bigger. We have opened a store in King's Road in London at 2002, very successful. It put us in the map of cosmetics all over the world. We move on very quickly in different countries. In Asia, we get listed in the Athenian stock market. Today, the company has about 350 employees. We export our total sales in Europe and export are close to 42 million and another 20 million in US. We have started working closely with J&J, a huge group that believes a lot to our qualities. So have done a licensing agreement, a very small Greek company with such a giant for the US market. Opening stores all over with almost 600 SKUs today. Okay. Perhaps now I can see to have seen the most. Get listed in the Athenian stock market in 2007. And if somebody gonna ask why all this have happened, the answer for me are 4 words. What is in the heart of the company? Helps, cooperations, extractions, and research. What to do differently and why you are here in front of you. We believe in herbs. In Greece, we have to know that we have 6,000 different herbs, where 1,500 are endemic. You're going to find them only in Greece. We think that in Belgium, in Germany, there are 20 endemic herbs, and in UK, there are 10 endemic herbs. So we have an amazing value there. We have walked to the university, we have done a mapping of the Greek flora, first done, to understand where is the best quality in terms of climate and soil to find the herbs we need. So after having done the mapping, we have gone to the communities to find not the bigger and the cheapest producer and farmer, but to support the local communities, to work with them, to advise them, to teach them how to do organic farming. In some cases, we learn by them. In some others, we were taking them from their hand and driving them in front. Today, we have 27 signed agreements, already 3 or 4 years. We have supported almost 100 societies. Just to go over, we work with prisoners in Greece. It took us 2 years to persuade the Greek government to allow us to teach the prisoners how to do organic farming, to buy from them the herbs and give them the promise, after that, if they have the will, they can continue working with us. A beauty editor 4 years ago asked me, Yorgos, why you don't do anything with the extract addicts? I say, oh my God, amazing idea. We go to Kethea Ithaki. They have the land. They were amazed by the idea. Today, we work in north of Greece with a community of young people trying to rehabilitate from these problems, and we teach them how to do organic farming. We buy from them. We work with the Chios Bastika Growers Association, 4,000 families in Chios. With the saffron, is the best quality crocus, the best quality of saffron globally in Kozani. 20 villages, unemployment of 20% before the crisis. You need 150,000 of flowers to get 1 kilo of crocus, of saffron. We helped the community. The last 2 years, in September, they were out of stock. They didn't have any saffron to sell. So being very close to the communities and help them. We get the raw materials, the herbs. This is the tears of masticha, is a resin in Chios. These are the flowers of crocus, of saffron. The red stigma is what you keep. People gather it one by one, and at night, here is the grandma, the daughter, the granddaughter. They go on to one other's house, and they speak, how you're doing, how you've done today, what you do with your son, and they separate the stigmas, and they throw the yellow, and they keep the red. The whole villages live by saffron. We just have given to them a window to the global market. And then the third thing was that was the same for us in Greece. After having the herbs, it was very important for us how to make them useful to use it, which means we have to extract them. But for us, out of 1,500 endemic herbs, there was not one production facility, extraction facility in Greece, where in Germany you're going to find almost 200. In Spain, 150. In Switzerland, 15 or 20. We have built a unique process of doing extractions in cooperation with the university, taking of one herb 11 end products. We can isolate active ingredients of the herbs. We can use the extractions as they are. We take back all the solvents. What stays, we give it back to the farmers as biofertilizer. And the third part is how we do research. After having done all these things, the last 5 or 6 years, we work very close to the universities. We do what we call basic research. Applied research in our case is when you have the product and you see what's happening on the skin, we do basic research, what is happening in our cell of our body with the active herbal ingredients. And I can say proudly we're the only natural cosmetic company in the world that we do basic research. And through this research, we have come to unique patents and anti-aging products that have been launched 3-4 years ago with a lot of awards all over the world. This is part of the factory of the manufacturing facilities for homeopathic remedies, the production facilities. Very quickly to say that for the water in the cosmetic industry, you have to have water better than 20 microsiemens. We work with a quality of 0.001 microsiemen, less than 0.01. So, and 4 microsiemens is the low for the drugs. The company inside. And at the end, the products, the awards, and some photos from standalone stores all over the world. We export in about, today, 35 countries. We have, as I mentioned, 600 different SKUs. Greece for us is still very important, is close to 60% of our sales. But as my friend before have said, the Greek market today is suffering. For us, the only way out is export, and the problems are exactly the same what you mentioned. The financing is so difficult, the belief is not there. In our case, perhaps things are better because we are a branded good and people know the brand. It's much, much easier in a lot of cases. And we feel that the future of our effort, obviously, is the global market. Thank you very much.
Well, πραγματικά θα ήθελα στα ελληνικά να σε ευχαριστήσω. Είναι πολύ συγκινητικό να βλέπουμε τι επιτυγχάνουν οι άνθρωποι που παράγουν και δημιουργούν. Και τώρα θα ήθελα να περάσω, να δώσω το λόγο. I'll give the floor to my colleague Wolf Klintz.
I'm very grateful to you for having organized this meeting, because what we have really is a confidence crisis, you know, and we, that is the non-Greeks, also partly had lost or have lost the confidence also in the Greek ability to get out of the mess. And I think today the 4 presentations of those highly successful and creative entrepreneurs have really proven that, you know, there is a lot of reason why we should look into the future with optimism. Now, first of all, before I make a few comments to you, to my neighbor, I know a little bit the culture of the Greeks because I've had a Greek brother-in-law for 40 years. Then, unfortunately, he passed away. You know, so then he passed away, unfortunately. And in his school, I learned 6 years of ancient Greek. So I've got a little bit of the spirit of your ancestors. Now, I must say I'm quite impressed by the presentations of these 4 gentlemen, because they prove that the entrepreneurial spirit is alive. And this is really important. Before I became a politician in 2004, I've spent 38 years in international business. And I've come across many a Greek businessman, but outside of Greece, in America, in England, in France, etc. So for me, it was never quite understandable why since there was so much Greek entrepreneurial talent, why it would not be used in the country herself, in Greece herself. Now, And many of the Greek businessmen that I ran across in my professional career told me that they found it much easier to work outside of Greece. They felt the bureaucracy was too complicated, and there was some decisions were being taken that could not really be understood easily. They were taken for, I don't know, what, personal reasons or whatever, not objectively, so etc. Now, you have proven that even in your own country you can be successful, and you have done this because you have concentrated on a few facts that are the key factors for success, namely, first of all, use what is available on the ground and use it well. Use the talents and use also the natural sort of sources that you have. You have had the courage to try out things that others had not. You were willing to sort of break new ground, so to speak. And you were also very flexible in reacting to new opportunities that offered themselves. Because, this American that said, well, I like your product, so can I import it? You reacted right away, or later on in London, etc. And you were the same. I mean, you really showed particularly courage to go to foreign countries without speaking the language and then returning and mastering it. Now, let me tell you, I know, and I think by now all the citizens outside Greece know it in the European Union, that what you have to go through is really very, very difficult and very demanding. We know this. And maybe we underestimated it in the beginning when the crisis started 2.5 or 3 years ago. But by now I think everybody knows it. I tell you, this is a very demanding transformation process that will take some more time, unfortunately. So I cannot tell you, well, the worst is behind you, 2 more years and everything will be back to normal. I think it will take many more years until you really have a solid footing and a solid ground. And I say this because I've been through a transformation process myself. After German unification, I went to East Berlin and took on the job, with others of course, to restructure East German industry that had been rotten and in a terrible state due to 70 years or 40 years of communism. And you have an advantage, because the advantage is that you never have been in such a terrible situation. Your disadvantage, of course, is that you just had 8 pretty good years behind yourself. As the commissioner said, between 2002 and 2010, things went very well. So you thought, well, it's going up, it's getting better year after year. And all of a sudden you've fallen into the trap and you have to put things right. But I think what you should be doing is, you should not believe in government sorting it out alone. It is the private sector. You have to attract or become attractive for private investment, not only in the country, but also particularly from outside the country. You have to become attractive for foreign investment, and that means that a few things have to be put right. And here, of course, the government is being called on, because unless you have an effective, rational administration, and unless you have a decision-making process that is rational and that can be understood, unless you have people that respect the law and apply it properly, unless you have all that, you will not be able to attract foreign investment. So I think things are moving in the right direction, but it will take some further time. And you have to make an effort, and this will be probably the most difficult part, to reduce the government or state, let's call it state element, in the overall economy gradually to a level that is sustainable over time. Statistics show that the higher the government involvement is, the more volatile an economy is when there comes crisis, etc. And the last point is, you should not try to fight fights that you cannot win. Fighting globalization, I think, is a useless battle. You're not going to win it. And therefore, I think, and this is addressed to our first speaker here, to Miltiadis Karatzis. It was first. Okay, sorry. I don't think that the solution is that the European Union reintroduces import duties for products coming from the Far East. I've seen, not only in East Germany, also in West Germany, industries disappear. The German textile industry doesn't exist anymore because against India, Bangladesh, and other Asian countries, we didn't have a chance due to globalization. But the answer would not have been to reintroduce import duties and say we protect ourselves, because then we buy some time for a few years, but not permanently. We have to concentrate on things where we can stay ahead, where we can remain competitive. And I think you have good reason to say that the financing conditions right now are unacceptable. There I agree with you. That should be changed. But if you compete, which you do not by and large, but if you compete with products that can easily be produced in the same quality and the same specifications in low-cost countries and then be imported to Europe, then I think nobody can protect you.
Yes. Excuse me. You're absolutely right. And of course, we have to stay up to date and we have to keep innovating and we have to have products that are higher quality than the Far Eastern and so on and so on. But having seen, because up to a few months ago, we used to produce also in the US. We sold this factory for a good reason or bad reason, but we sold this factory out. But we were working there for many years. And having seen how the US reacts and protects their own entrepreneurs, this is the reason I'm saying. I'm just saying that in US, if you even prove, just by one proof or two invoices, that the product arriving from Far East is cheaper than the cost you have in producing the product, it's enough to be called a dumping.
Yeah. Well, you're right. We have dumping cases here too, and I do not know the details, so I cannot really give you a definite.
It is just because just because I said before that the product, ready product, comes from the Far East many times. Of course, inferior in quality, no discussion about that. But you can understand what kind of problems this can create in the market when it comes lower than what we pay for our main raw material.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe
isn't this dumping?
Maybe that's an exception case, and we have dumping causes in Europe as well. But what I'm saying is, by and large, let me say just the last word. I think by now it has become clear that the euro is not just a monetary or economic project, but a political project. And therefore, we are really bound together very much like members of the same family. And therefore, those that are relatively healthy do have an interest that those members of the family that currently or temporarily are sick and have to take very tough medicine that's difficult to swallow, that they, regain their health. We have an interest because for egoistic reasons. As a family member, for egoistic reasons, you want that all the other members of the family are healthy. You do not want to live with a sick aunt or deadly sick uncle or sister or brother, whatever. I think this is a current situation, and I would therefore we share the same interest. We have an interest, as I say, that you recover your health and your good condition. And let me tell a last thing. We are in the European Union, a union of values. And one of the values is also that we, treat each other with respect. And I deplore very much that what has happened. Oh, sorry. Yes, I've come to an end. I very much deplore how the Greek situation has been commented in mass journals in Germany, but also deplore that German politicians are being shown in Nazi uniform, etc. I think we should respect each other, and really in a daily life live the European values.
Absolutely.